Okay, today I'm taking a look at the VEVOR Slushie machine. It looks to me like this can be lifted off of the bottom. Yes, okay. It's quite tall, so it'd probably be best to do this on the floor. That is pretty cool. So it does have some weight to it. It is not as heavy as it looks. Now, the one important thing about this, see the copper pipes going into it. I believe this is going to be a refrigerant style system. Yeah, we can see the compressor right in there. Because this arrived at my door upside down, we want to make sure that we have that going right side up for at least 24 hours before we start using it. Until it is add time for that refrigerant to settle. So I do have some first use tips. It does say that we need to have a sugar content of 13 to 25%. So you cannot use sugar-free stuff with this. Although I have seen people have successfully made slushies with sugar-free content. You do have to put additives in it, and these are not really designed for that. This is designed to have sugar in it. And it says we need to let it run for 40 minutes. So it actually takes quite a while for this to cool down. Now the cool thing about it is that you can make a lot of slushie with this. With the more DIY style slushies, you might get it somewhere between 4 and 8 cups per batch, which means that if you have a big party or something like that, you're going to have to fill up the cups for a few people and then tell the rest of the people that they're going to have to wait. So with this, you can make a ton of slushies. So you can see we got a nice big auger here. We've got our container. Oh, that's interesting. So our lid actually has some lights built in, and we got our contacts right there. So all I gotta do is set the lid on and it will light up our slushie machine. That's actually a neat idea. Here's our drip tray. We got our instructions. We got a couple of seals, and we've got what looks like some lubricant. We also have basic instructions right here on the side. It says that from the factory, the slush temperature is going to be -2 degrees Celsius, and the cold drink temperature is going to be 5 degrees Celsius. It also tells us that we got a minimum water line, so we don't want to let that fluid go too low. So yeah, we got a nice strong dispensing nozzle on there. On the left, we got our power switch, and that is a nice membrane covered power switch, so we don't have to worry about anything getting in there. We've got some fans on the back, so you're going to want to make sure we have some space on the back that we can keep this guy cool. Then on the front, we've got our interface. So we got mixing, cold drink, slushy, subtract, add, so that's going to be for setting our temperature, and then lighting there on these sides. So the drip tray has a couple of little tabs that are just going to line up with those holes and then drop down. We also have our condensate right here, so that's not going to just be piling on the floor. That will also collect right in the drip tray. I also appreciate there's a lot of clearance right here, so in the event that you have a very large cup, you're not going to have to worry about that with this. So it looks like the lid hooks on the front and then kind of snaps on the back, and there's actually a little tab right here that has a hole drilled through it, so if we wanted to, we could use something to lock that down to make sure nobody else puts anything in there. So the instructions do give us information on disassembly. One thing that's pretty cool is it actually gives us a wiring diagram so we can work on this guy ourselves. So I personally really like that. Where most machines are trying to keep all this stuff a secret, this actually tells you exactly what everything is. So it says to remove the tank, there are some tabs right here. We just have to lift it so it'll pop off of those tabs. There you go. And then we can pull that off. Looks like we got our first sealing ring will be right here. To replace that, we will just push out this little pin. We can take the handle off. This will drop out, and we can clean the entire tank. And this ring here, this is actually one large ring that is kind of looped in on itself. That is this ring right here. And it says it can be lubricated by applying cooking oil here. Or we can use this lube, and it's calling this BX lube. So the main reason you would want to lube this is just so that you can slide that cover on. You can probably slide the cover on without lubing this, but just so you're not pushing it around, it's a good idea to put some lube on there. And the auger. And then we have this seal, which is this right here. So that I am going to put some lube on, just so we're not starting this machine up for the first time dry. I can see right here, there is a flat cut into that shaft. And if we look into the end of the auger, we can see where that flat is going to make. So this actually has a metal insert on the inside. So we just drop this guy back on, make sure it lines up, and we are good to go. I definitely do appreciate that this is very easy to take apart and maintain. There we go. Okay, so it has been a little over 24 hours. We got everything washed, and we are going to fill. And I'm just using lemonade for this. All right, so that is 2.63 liters, and that is not even up to our minimum line. So this is going to use a lot of fluid. Okay, so these two are smaller. These are 1.53 liters. So in total, we got a little bit under 6 liters. And we could definitely go higher than that if we really wanted to. So I'm gonna flip it on, and we'll turn on mixing. And slush. So it's going to the default of -2 degrees. You can hear the fans kick on in the back. So I'm going to give that about 20 minutes. I'll come back and see what it looks like. I set my timer for 20 minutes. It's been 8 minutes, and you can already see the crystals forming in there. So it's actually freezing up nice and quick. You can go ahead and just leave it like this, and we'll watch that thing turn into a slushie. Okay, so it has been 20 minutes, so we are halfway to our 40-minute mark. That is definitely thickening up, and I did turn on the light. That does work. Pretty neat little feature. Even though it is not done yet, I just want to see what it looks like. So this is after 20 minutes. So it is fairly thin. We can see it is at negative 1.4 degrees right now to the negative 2. But that is a nice thin slushy. So if you like it to be a little more runny, then that will work. And it tastes really good. Yeah, it tastes like lemonade, just a little bit thicker. I actually kind of like it like that. But we're going to go ahead and do the remaining 20 minutes and then come back to it. So it has hit its temperature, and we have still got 12 minutes left. So it ended up being about 28 minutes to get that to the temperature that we wanted. And we can tell it's there because the AC compressor kicked off. So it does not want to cool it any further than that. It is running, and that is definitely some thick slush. Well, let's go ahead and get a cup of that. Oh, yeah. So that is, wow, that is perfect. Nice and thick, but still easy to scoop and move around. Yeah, that is really good. That's awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for a fancy slushie machine, something that can put out a lot of slushies all at once, that is going to be an awesome machine for that.